Ladies and gentlemen, that is some Montreal magic. Saturday night, and we are in the spot. The Montreal Canadiens have defeated the New Jersey Devils in a shootout in what might have been the most exciting game all year. There have been some pretty fun ones for the Habs in 2025-2026, but all the stories, the narratives, and the events of this actual game, especially in overtime. Make no mistake about it, folks, this was a great use of 2.5 hours on a Saturday. The Montreal Canadiens have just defeated the New Jersey Devils 4-3 in a shootout. The Habs had a 3-0 lead. They choked the 3-0 lead away, and I was here cycling through the Canucks and the Utah game, and I had the Canadiens and the Devils game on the other side because I was like, all right, well, both of my teams are playing. Obviously, my third team, Detroit, ended up getting destroyed earlier today, so I'm not too big a fan of that. But this Montreal game, by the time it was 3-0 Habs, I was like, okay, this is probably it. Like, we're probably not going to see much more excitement out of this one. Habs are just going to wrap it up. They're going to come back to Montreal, and then they're going to play off against the Devils again tomorrow because, yeah, that's the funny way that this schedule is working out for everybody, I guess. But no, you have the Devils that respond with 3 straight. The overtime. Let's skip all the goals in regulation and just talk about the overtime. No goals scored in OT, of course, which is why the game went to a shootout. But Jakub Dobes, oh my goodness, this guy, he is going to cause the collective heart rate of Montreal to beat to unhealthy levels. Our blood pressure is boiling because of this man. Jakub Dobes, and the amount of times he went out there, left his crease, and played the puck only for it to be played in an extremely dangerous way. Okay, look, I'm saying that like he did it every shift. No, he did it like enough times to count on just one hand. But those times were very dire, and we did see some incredible heart-stopping moments from this hockey game. Entertainment-wise, this was totally a 10 out of 10 experience, even though you might not necessarily say that the hockey was all too great. Like, Jakub Dobes, you can't be going out there and fumbling the puck like that, man. You can't be playing it right into Jesper Bratt's feet. Either way, 2 moments in this overtime stood out the most. First, the puck is going into the Canadiens' corner, and it's a foot race. Jesper Bratt's going to get there. But before Bratt touches up in the corner, it's Jakub Dobes who comes in and tries to play it away. He ends up reverse body checking the Devils forward. He falls down, and then he pokes the puck behind the goal line to his defenseman that is there trying to recover the play. And then, the other moment, Lane Hutson gets tangled up behind his goal line with the puck and with the opposing Devils forechecker. Jakub Dobes notices that, and he comes behind the goal to play the puck himself too. He tries to dump it down Main Street, but instead it hits the other Devils forward and skims across the goal line before it gets freed up by Hutson once more. My goodness, man. Do yourself a favor and rewatch that overtime because Montreal and New Jersey put on a show. The odd man rushes, the chances, the saves. Jack Hughes had a beautiful 1-T that was stopped up by Jakub Dobes. Ivan Demidov had a few beautiful drives to the front of the goal that were thwarted away by Jake Allen. Another issue about this game in totality, I'm going to say this about the entire game and not just the overtime, was that you can tell Cole Caufield, Mr. Saturday Night, was at 49 goals. And you can tell because a lot of the Canadiens dudes, they were just feeding this guy left, right, and center. And normally, that's not a bad thing. You want to be feeding the guy who is at 49. You want him to get to 50. But I think there were a few moments throughout the course of this game where some of the Canadiens forwards passed up even better opportunities because they just tried to keep forcing it to Cole Caufield. Not a bad practice. Obviously, you love to see the camaraderie there. But at some point, it's like, hey, maybe make the better play. You know? Like, there were a few moments where they had space, they had time, they had better passing options, but instead they gave it to Caufield because they wanted him to get the goal. Great team sport showcase over there, but you kind of want to see some more goals there, man. And for me personally, I got Hutson, Demidov, Slavkovsky, and I also have Jack Hughes in my fantasy team. I've been clamoring about how it's been very stressful this week because it's the finals, and my opponent this week has Nick Suzuki. So, yeah, it's been pretty up and down. My guys got some points, especially in that second period, but the first period is where we actually saw everything start out scoring-wise in this game. Jayden Struble gets his second goal of the year off of a really nice setup by Cole Caufield. Jacky goes over, down into the corner, Caufield goes back over to Struble, who then just walks in and rips it up high over the back bar and in. The body language on the ice, they didn't realize that it was in. Only a few select members of the Canadiens actually understood that it was a goal. But Jayden Struble with his second of the year gets things going. Second period, this is where Ivan Demidov extends the lead to 2 on a power play goal assisted by Caufield and Suzuki. Hutson goes over to Suzuki, down to the goal line to Caufield, who's looking for a pass. Demidov then cuts in on the back door, and it's a beautiful cross-crease play. Great shot, great goal. Demidov makes it 2-0. Give it a minute, and the Montreal Canadiens make it 3-0 off of a very scrambly play where the puck goes down low. It's centered out for Josh Anderson. It bounces up on him. Jake Allen then falls in the crease trying to stop the puck, but it's all the way back out into the hash marks where Lane Hutson picks it up. He shoots, he scores. It is a wide open net, and Hutson makes it 3-0. So 2 of my guys getting goals. I'm very happy about that. But then we saw the Devils come back. Dawson Mercer elevates the puck from a tight angle right by Jakub Dobes to make it 3-1. And then, 4 minutes after that, on a double minor penalty kill, you have Jack Hughes scoring a shorthanded goal. Hughes goes over to Bratt. He goes back in front to Hughes, and it's a goal there to make it 3-2. I am very happy, honestly. I'm sitting there watching the game just screaming that Jack Hughes got a shorthanded goal because that helps me out very much, even though, of course, the Canadiens getting that goal against is not particularly great. Then in the third period, you see yourselves Dougie Hamilton and Jack Hughes assisting on Timo Meier's late game tying goal. The goaltender is at the bench. Hamilton goes across to Jack Hughes, who drops it back for Timo Meier, who then walks in. He takes a long-range shot and he beats Jakub Dobes far side. That's all she wrote for regulation. It's 3-3. Montreal blows a 3-goal lead. And then the overtime happens. It's so crazy. It's so ridiculous. There are so many heart-stopping moments out of this overtime showcase. Jack Hughes and Juraj Slavkovsky. I saw the battle going on over there. The first overall picks trying to get by each other and trying to best out the other. I thought it was pretty great to see. Pretty poetic, too. But inevitably in the shootout, it is Oliver Kapanen who gets the winner. There were a number of shootout goals started out in this one. Cole Caufield, really nice little short side chance, and he buries it on Jake Allen. Jesper Bratt goes back and forth and back and forth and back to the forehand to beat Jakub Dobes. Ivan Demidov takes the same path that Cole Caufield did and goes far side and he scores. And then Jack Hughes, he needs to score to keep the shootout alive. He comes in, beautiful move, ice in his veins, he gets it to go. You then have misses from Suzuki, Slavkovsky, Lenny Haminaho, and Cody Glass before Oliver Kapanen comes in and buries it right by Jake Allen. Obviously a Canadian of yesteryear, somebody that I think had garnered a good amount of respect as his time in Montreal had come to an end. Lots to love out of Jake Allen, but he did get the L in this one ultimately. With that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Montreal Canadiens' crazy win over the Devils in a shootout. I gotta think about what we gotta do for this Canucks and Utah game, because that just concluded as well. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this Swedish Roll 9, and bye.